Gabe, let me start with you. What's the mood, based on the sources you're talking to inside the White House, about how the night went for President Trump?
Hi there, Kristen. Well, we're expecting President Trump here arriving at the White House any moment, but White House officials are enthusiastic about the president's speech today. This is Trump 2.0, a president with the wind at his back, with a certain swagger that he didn't have during his first term. Now, as you mentioned, you laid down his long list of accomplishments that he touted, but he also made news on several fronts. As you mentioned, he blamed President Biden for a lot of the country's ills at this moment, and he really mocked Democrats. This was a very partisan speech in that respect. Now, Kristen, he also talked about tariffs and defended these 25% tariffs that he has imposed on Canada and Mexico, even though his Commerce Secretary today suggested that they might be scaled back tomorrow. He, for the first time, said that there would be a little disturbance for Americans, essentially prepping them for some short-term pain, but he feels long-term this will be beneficial. It took him a while to get to foreign policy, but at the end of his speech, he talked about Ukraine and signaled that President Zelensky would be open to this minerals deal and seemed to move in that direction, that the president and the Trump administration was ready to work on that minerals deal and, by extension, a broader peace deal in Ukraine. Now, in terms of foreign policy as well, he talked about a very muscular foreign policy. At one point, he brought up reclaiming the Panama Canal, acquiring Greenland, and he also talked about, and this was a headline, something that he brought up a lot during the campaign trail, the disastrous withdrawal from Afghanistan. And the president saying that an ISIS terrorist that the U.S. says helped plan and was actually the mastermind behind planning the Abbey Gate bombing that killed more than a dozen U.S. service members was being extradited to the U.S. after being detained by Pakistani officials based on CIA intelligence. So the president also touting his immigration policy. Illegal border crossings, he said, are at record lows. Arrests and detentions by immigration authorities are at record highs, he said, and have increased significantly since the Biden administration. And he notably went to Congress and made a direct push for more funding for border security, something that his officials, including his border czar, Tom Homan, had been asking lawmakers for the past several weeks. Some within the administration have been frustrated with the pace of deportations. But, Kristen, after speaking with White House officials here, they say that that outburst by Congressman Green, that Democrats really missed the mark, they feel. They feel they are out of touch with the country, and that the president, his policies, that he's been in office 43 days, he was able to tout those accomplishments successfully tonight, and they are thrilled by how the speech turned out, the longest such presidential address in history, as you mentioned, Kristen.
Certainly was historic in that regard. Ryan Nobles, you were in the chamber tonight. You were in the room where it all happened. Take us inside. What was it like to be there? And let's start with that extraordinary moment where the speech was just underway for a few moments and Congressman Al Green interrupted, frankly going against what Leader Jeffries had asked of his conference.
Yeah, and Kristen, I do think it's important to point out that Congressman Green is somewhat of an outlier here. He is someone who consistently has bucked leadership desires to stay away from the issue of impeachment. He attempted to impeach President Trump in his first term several times, even before the rest of his Democratic colleagues were interested in going down that route. He said that he is prepared to file articles of impeachment this go around, even though his leadership team has tried to distance themselves there from that. This was not what Democratic leaders were hoping would be their response to the speech and the optics that's surrounding it. And so this is going to be something that people are going to be talking about because it was an unprecedented moment by any measure. But it's not what the overall message that Democrats wanted to send today. And I do have to tell you, being inside the chamber, it was unbelievably stark, the difference between the way Republicans responded to this speech and the way that Democrats responded to this speech. Republicans uniformly across the board standing and applauding at almost every single thing that Donald Trump had to say, where Democrats consistently were sitting on their hands. Usually these speeches, it's not impossible for presidents, even in the most polarizing times, to find one, two or three issues where you can get everybody in the chamber to stand up and clap. That was not the case tonight. Democrats made a concerted effort to not respond positively to almost everything that Donald Trump said, including that moment where the young, now soon-to-be West Point student was surprised by the announcement that he was going to be admitted into the military academy. You saw some Democrats clap for that, but I counted only one Democrat that actually stood and applauded during that period of time. So this was Democrats demonstrating that they are in full-on resistance mode when it comes to Donald Trump and his administration. And it also, in many ways, could reflect the mood of the country right now, a level of polarization where if you are a supporter of Donald Trump, you love him and you love almost every single thing he's doing, where if you are opposed to Donald Trump, you're opposed to him in almost every single thing that he is doing. And that was on display throughout the entire speech. The other thing that I thought was pretty notable that you could really only notice if you were inside the room was the way that periodically throughout the entire speech, Democrats were just getting up out of their seats and leaving, where by the end of this speech, there was as many as 40 vacant seats on the Democratic side of the aisle. And then the second the speech was over, every Democrat just got out of that room as quickly as possible. So that may not resonate with the broader American public right now. Most Americans that watched this speech tonight only saw what Donald Trump was saying directly to the camera. They didn't see these kind of subtle protests by Democrats. And that, more than anything, Kristen, demonstrates the position that Democrats find themselves in this current political moment. They just do not have a lot of power to stop Donald Trump and his agenda, even to the point where it was difficult for them to get their protest message out in a way that could resonate with the American people on a night like tonight.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.